Hey, good morning. I've got 9 people, or actually I'm up to 12, and I'll admit them now.
Okay.
Folks, please put your audio on mute until I call your name.
Okay.
Please put your audio on mute until I call your name.
Yeah, dude, I gotta go.
Oh, no problem, man. I'll talk to you later.
Folks, please put your audio on mute. I need everyone to put your audio on mute until I call your name, please, so we don't get feedback. Folks, you've got to put your audio on mute, please, so we can begin. I can hear feedback. Mr. Williams, on mute, please. Mr. Palmero, on mute. Mr. Brewer, on mute. Ms. Perez, on mute.
Stop.
Please mute your audio.
We have 2 out. We have another one coming almost immediately, and it really is a great achievement.
You gotta get down. You gotta
should
get down.
start to see really good numbers over the next few months.
Folks,
I think you're going to see those numbers really.
I can't start until everyone is on mute.
And I can only say this: we have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say. We've left it all in the field. We don't have to. We don't have to come and say. We'll never say in a month when we're sitting in Florida, we're not going to be looking at each other and saying, you know, if we only work.
Somebody is listening to the president's speech. I can hear that. Please put your audio on mute.
And we just got 75 million votes, and that's a record in the history of. In the history of.
Madam Clerk, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Judge, I can hear you.
It's an all-time record by a lot, by many millions in the history of.
Mr. Palmero, can you hear me?
Really just an honor. And one of the things we're very, very proud of.
Mr. Palmero, can you hear me?
Of almost 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. That's a very big number. That's a record-setting number, and so we've done a lot. And there's still things.
Okay, thank you. I think everyone is now on mute. A few comments before we begin. This is traffic court. This is specifically a pre-trial docket, and emphasis on pre-trial. So I want you to understand this is not a trial. You'll notice that we don't have any law enforcement officers here. So this is not a trial. At the end of your case, I will not be finding you guilty or not guilty. That's not the purpose of the hearing today. The purpose of the hearing today is to allow you an opportunity to resolve your case without going to trial if you choose to do that. So I will make you an offer, and then you can simply accept that offer to resolve your case or not. Please understand that you certainly do not have to accept the offer if you do not want to. But if you do choose to accept the offer, then that would resolve the case. So because this is not a trial, that means there's no reason for you to tell me things like, Judge, I wasn't speeding. I don't think that the officer clocked my car. It was a different car. Or I did come to a complete stop. Those types of things are defenses. And if you think you have a valid defense, then simply tell me you want a trial. You don't need to get into those defenses today because, again, we're not here for that purpose. If I make you an offer, it will likely include a fine and court costs, and I want you to understand how that works. Let's say, for example, the fine is $150 plus court costs. The court costs equal $103, so it would be $150 plus court costs $103 for a total of $253. Now, if you accept the offer, you have to, first of all, contact the clerk of courts within 30 days of today's date. All right, that's a must. You must contact them within 30 days of today's date to do one of 2 things. You can either pay that off in full, or you can enter into a payment plan if you want to make monthly payments that extend beyond 30 days. That's perfectly fine, but you have to contact the clerk within 30 days of today's date. Okay, first case is Aaron Aguila. If you're here, you can unmute. Aaron Aguila. How about Cameron Brewer?
I'm here.
Mr. Brewer, okay, good morning.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
All right, Mr. Brewer, can you hear me? Mr. Brewer, can you hear me? Mr. Brewer, I'm going to come back to you. We're having some audio problems. How about Benjamin Karasi?
So I can't, it's really.
Judge Benjamin's here if you're ready for me.
Yes, sir, I'm ready for you. You're here for a speeding ticket. Is there anything you want to say before I make you an offer?
I had planned.
Or I can make you the offer. You can ask me questions if you.
Yeah, let's
go ahead.
hear the offer, I guess.
All right, the offer is an adjudication of guilt, a $350 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course.
I'll accept that. Judge, what would I have to do to accept that offer?
Do you have any questions about that, or do you know if you want to? Sorry, say that again.
Well, yeah, if I understand it correctly, an adjudication indicates that I don't receive any points, and I have to.
That's not true.
Oh,
that's not true. The adjudication means you do get points.
Okay. Well, then I'd like to have a trial, Your Honor.
All right, Madam Clerk, when would that be?
March 24th, Judge. At
All right,
1:30.
and that's at 1:30. That will be on Zoom just like this, so you'll receive the login credentials in the mail, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. You're free to sign off. Once we're done with your case, everybody, you're free to sign off. All right, next case is Gerald Coyne. Mr. Coyne, are you here? I see your name. Mr. Coyne, can you hear me? How about Kenneth Demore? Kenneth Demore. How about Patrick Faley? How about Ricardo Enriquez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Enriquez, good morning. This is a speeding ticket, and it's interesting. I want to explain something to you. You're charged with exceeding the speed limit by more than 50 miles per hour. Okay, and I want to tell you that because the law requires a $1,000 fine. Did you know that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the offer for you is an adjudication of guilt, which means you would receive points, a $1,000 fine, all costs, and a 12-hour course. And you can accept that, or we can set it for hearing.
If I do a 12-hour course, does it like help with the points, or the points will still be there?
You still get points.
All right. Yes, I'll take it. I accept it.
All right, so you've got to get that course done within 30 days and submit a certificate of completion to the clerk, and you need to pay off the fine costs within 30 days or enter into a payment plan with the clerk. Do you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it, Mr. Enriquez. Thank you. Have a good day.
I have one more question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where do I get like the 12-hour courses? Where can I like search it up to get all that information?
What you need to do is Google Collier clerk and
Yes, sir.
call them, and they will answer that question for you.
All right. So just one 12-hour course of a driving class.
It makes your case, but starting tomorrow, you can call the clerk, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day. Christopher Jones.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones is here. Good morning. This is a speeding ticket. Mr. Jones, you have no priors, that you have a clean record. So the offer to you is a withhold of adjudication. You've heard me talk about points with other folks. The withhold of adjudication means I'm withholding the conviction, so you do not get points. You do have to pay a fine of $250 plus costs and do a 4-hour course. And the course, by the way, is done online. It's not in person.
So you're breaking up on me.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, you were breaking up on me.
Okay, did you hear the offer, or do you want me to repeat it?
I heard the offer of it's not adjudicated, so no points, and it was 250, correct?
Yeah, you just froze on me with the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a bad connection here. It's a withhold, no points, $250 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course, which you do online.
Okay.
Do you
sounds
accept
good to me.
that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You do as well.
Madam Clerk, you good? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm good, Judge.
All right, Melissa Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Lopez.
Good morning.
This is also a speeding ticket. You also, this is also a speeding ticket. I know that you have a clean record. The offer to you is the same offer I just made to the previous. And it's a withhold of adjudication, so no points because you have a clean record. You do have to pay a $250 fine plus cost and do the 4-hour course online.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. So you accept?
I accept, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Jordy Medrano Duval. Medrano Duval. How about Esther Perez? Ms. Perez, I see you. Can you hear me? Sherelle, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge, I can hear you.
Ms. Perez, can you hear me? No. How about Joseph Slatke?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Hello?
Mr. Slatke, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning. You're here on a speeding ticket, and the offer to you is an adjudication of guilt, $200 fine, plus costs, and a 4-hour course. So you can accept or not. It's completely up to you.
How many points would the ticket have on my record?
4.
I'd like a hearing, sir.
All right, Madam Clerk, when is the hearing for Mr. Slatke?
March 24th at 1:30.
All right, and it's online or on Zoom just like today, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Slatke, and you're free to go. Have a good day. Ella Turk. Ella Turk. Let's see, Mr. Kogler, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Happy Wednesday. I just spoke with the clerks and I said it's the non-attorney docket. Did they reschedule it? They said no. And then I realized I had filed my notice of appearance yesterday around noontime. They have not processed it yet.
Okay.
And this would be on defendant, bringing up the citation right now, citation 2020 TR 031784, defendant Aaron Justin Aguila. And that's a mandatory ticket.
I do see that. Aguila, Madam Clerk, is 20 TR 31784. So, Mr. Kogler, I know you're just involved. Do you still want me to make you an offer today, or do you want us to put this on an attorney docket?
Judge, if there's let's put it on an attorney docket, Judge.
Okay, Madam Clerk, when would that be, please?
Judge, do you want it on a hearing docket or in the morning?
In the morning first. I don't think you want to go straight to a hearing, do you?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, morning docket, please.
Okay, February 16th at 9 o'clock.
February 16th, 9 a.m. Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good day, Mr. Kogler.
You too, Judge.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so that completes our first reading of the 9 o'clock docket. Now we've got some recalls. Cameron Brewer. We had some audio issues. I know you're here. Mr. Brewer, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello, Judge.
Is this Mr. Brewer?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear
Yes, sir.
you. All right. So Mr.
Sorry,
Brewer.
I'm at the hospital right now. I took my little brother.
Okay, I see you. I see you standing outside. It looks like you went outside for a better connection.
Parents on here.
Okay. How old are you?
Yeah,
Are you an adult?
I'm 20.
Okay. So the offer for you, Mr. Brewer, on this speeding ticket is an adjudication of guilt.
No, yeah.
Are you ready for the offer? It's an
Yeah.
adjudication of guilt, $250 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course, which you can accept, or we can set it for a hearing. That's up to you. What would you like? Can you hear me? Mr. Brewer? Madam Clerk?
So I was
Yes,
delivering
sir.
pizzas when I got my hurry up. Do you think that I would be able to beat it?
Well, I can't tell you what
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Just saying, do you think that it would be possible, like, with that?
Mr. Brewer, you're breaking up on me.
Sorry. Do you think I? Hello.
Hello? Do I think
Hello?
what? Yes, I can hear you.
Do you think I'd be able to fight it since, like, I was working? I was literally delivering pizzas.
Well, delivering pizzas is not a defense to speeding. So if you
Yeah.
plan to come to court and say, Judge, I was speeding, but I was delivering pizzas and we've got 30 minutes or less, not a defense. But it's completely up to you. I mean, I don't know what'll happen at the trial. I may not be the judge at the trial. Would you like to set it for a trial?
All right.
What would you like to do?
I'll just take it. Whatever.
Okay, you've got to call the clerk within 30 days, okay?
Can I just go see him?
Madam Clerk, they can come in, right?
Yes, Judge.
Yes,
First
absolutely.
floor.
Yeah.
Come on in, Mr. Brewer.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Bye-bye.
you, Mr. Brewer. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Next up is Gerald Coyne. Mr. Coyne, can you hear me? Kenneth Demore. Patrick Fahaley. Jordy Medrano Duval. Esther Perez. I see Miss Perez. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. It looks like you're talking, but I can't hear you. Ms. Perez, can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me, but for some reason I can't hear you. So let me just talk for a little bit. And you tell me if you want the offer. You're here on a traffic control device violation based on speed. And the offer for you is a withhold of adjudication, so no points, a $60 fine plus costs. So the total would be $163. Do you understand all that? And the thumbs up means you want to accept it? All right, very good. So that's an acceptance, Madam Clerk. Ms. Perez, that's it for you, and you're free to sign off. All right, thank you. Have a good day. Ella Turk. Okay, so Madam Clerk, I think, excuse me, I think we've got some folks here from the 9:30 docket. Let's see. Let me start with Mr. Williams. Asher Williams, can you unmute, please?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Mr. Williams. Madam Clerk, do you see him on the 9:30 docket?
Yes, Judge. I see him.
Okay, so Mr. Williams has 3 tickets. Failure to change address. I know you have fixed that, Mr. Williams, right?
Yes, sir.
And I saw that. That ticket is dismissed. Madam Clerk, that's 20 TR 31426. All right, your next case is 20 TR 31425.
Would you repeat that number? I'm sorry.
The failure to display registration, and 20 TR 31424 expired registration. What's
Yep.
the status with those 2 cases?
Those have both been corrected. And my question was, I don't know whether or not that is something that would warrant the hearing because I need to submit evidence. When I went to schedule the current hearing, they said, well, ultimately they updated their records then. So I don't know if I'm not really sure where that stands, but those things have been corrected.
You don't need a hearing for these things. I've looked into these things, and I can tell that you fixed these things, Mr. Williams. So these 3 tickets are dismissed.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. And then there was, and are those the only?
Those are the only
3 issues that were brought up because the officer, I guess that was also a traffic.
I can't tell you if those were the only 3 issues that came up during this encounter. I can tell you those are the only 3 that I have on my docket today.
Okay. My only concern was that the only reason I even scheduled this was because the officer indicated that to take care of these things and then schedule it so that they could be present. But I guess if those 3 things are dismissed, that seems like that's a totally acceptable conclusion.
Yeah, I'm not going to set them for hearing just to hear the say dismissed. I can do that right now without bringing you and the officer in, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I greatly appreciate that. And what's the next step for me that I'm?
Well, these 3 tickets are done. You don't have to pay them. You don't have to come back.
Okay.
These 3 tickets are done.
Okay. I greatly appreciate your.
The next step is that.
You broke up just a little bit, Judge.
Sorry, folks, we've got a bad connection here.
Judge, I'm having trouble. Okay, there you go. I can hear you. I can hear you again. So in regards to those 3 things, they're the only things that were going to be addressed today. And so I appreciate your time for this.
Yep, no problem.
Is there any way, do I need to get, is there anywhere I can get paperwork that would indicate that the charges were dismissed?
Madam Clerk, do you send something out saying case dismissed?
No, Judge, but if he wants to come to the first floor of the courthouse, we can give him a printout of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you mail that to him?
I will do that, Judge.
All right, she's going to mail something to you, okay?
Okay, all right, great. All right, thank y'all. Thank you,
Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. So free to go?
Free to go. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for your time.
Sure. I've got someone, Britt Hall. Let's see.
Yes. Hello?
Hello, Miss Hall.
Yeah, my name is Coral.
10 o'clock.
I was going to ask you that. I see a Coral Hall. I don't see a Britt Hall. Okay. Clerk, Miss Hall is on the 10 o'clock docket. Do you see her case?
Let me flip to the 10 o'clock docket. Okay.
Madam Clerk, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Hall, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Hall, you're here on a...
Judge, your Zoom is
And the offer
frozen.
for you is a withhold of adjudication plus costs and a 4-hour... Well, we're having terrible problems here. Okay, Miss Hall, you go. What were you saying?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything you said.
This is awful, Rich. I don't know if it's this courtroom. Miss Hall, what were you trying to say there?
I just didn't hear anything you said at the beginning.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have a terrible connection here. What I was saying is your offer is a withhold of adjudication, which means no points. You do have to pay a fine of $250 plus costs, and you have to do a 4-hour course. which is something you do online. Do you understand all that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I accept.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, Ms. Hall. You're free to go.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Mr. Garces, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Garces. Give me just a minute to find your case.
No problem.
Last name Garces?
Garces, that's correct.
Madam Clerk, do you see a Garces?
I'm looking now.
Mr. Garces, I don't see your name. Do you happen to have a case number with you?
I do not. Let me see. I called in and I actually went to the office, to the actual building, because I thought I had to come in, and then they told me it was a Zoom hearing. So I believe the case is 11/2020 TR 025979 0001XX.
Can you go through the end of it again? 259
79 025979 0001XX.
Okay. Okay, is it Garces de la Rosa?
Correct.
I see. Madam Clerk, 20 TR 25979.
Except for 1:30, Judge. 1:30 this afternoon.
Yeah. Mr. Garces,
Yes, sir.
1:30 docket, not the morning
okay.
docket. So the 1:30 docket this afternoon is actually for a hearing. I can make you an offer if you want to hear it, and then if you want to accept the offer, we would cancel the hearing this afternoon. Do you want to hear the offer?
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
All right, it's a speeding ticket. The offer for you is a withhold of adjudication, so you would not get any points on your record. You would have to pay a $250 fine. And a 4-hour course. And you would have 30 days to enter into a payment plan or pay that off. It's up to you.
Okay, if I was to do the payment course, the payment plan, I got to do the course, right? And the course is for what exactly? Because I don't have a driver's license, a valid driver's license, so I don't know that I could do a course.
You can do the course. You can sign it.
Oh, I can? You're cutting off a bit, sir. I don't know if you can hear me.
And I can hear you now, yes. But yes, you do have to do the course, but you don't get any points on your record.
All right, but that applies to me even when I have no driver's license?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll take the offer. If I take the offer, that's it? Like, I just have to set the payments up and everything else?
Exactly. Yes, sir. You do not have to come back this afternoon. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and this afternoon, if I was to come in, it would be the same thing we're doing now, or is it something different?
It would be similar. It would be on Zoom. The officer would be here as well. I will take testimony from both of you, and I will determine whether you're guilty of speeding or not. If I determine that you're not guilty, then the case is closed. If I determine that you're guilty, then I impose a sentence, which may be the same as what I just offered you. It may be worse for you. It may be better for you. It depends on the facts of the case.
Okay, I'll take the offer.
Okay, so ordered. Mr. Garces, just please make sure you contact the clerk within the next few days, okay?
Okay, so I just call the office number and I just tell them to set me up?
Yes, sir. Keep that case number with you that you gave to us, and then they will set you up on a payment plan, okay?
Wonderful. That sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garces. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye. Okay, Mr. Paul Marrow, can you hear me, sir? Mr. Paul Marrow.
Good morning, Judge. How you doing?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, Mr. Palmero is on the 9:30 docket. Do you see his case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Palmero, this is a speeding ticket. The offer for you is a withhold of adjudication, which means you do not get any points. You have to pay a fine of $100 and court costs.
How much would be court costs?
103. The total is 203, and you can pay that off in its entirety within 30 days or make a payment plan. If you want to make monthly payments, that's fine.
And I would not get any points on my record?
Correct.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Palmero.
Have a good one.
You too. I've got someone here, LG Stylo 4. LG Stylo 4. Yes, sir. I can't see you. What is your name, please? Can you unmute? There we go. What is your name?
Ella Turk.
Oh, Ella Turk on the 9 o'clock docket. Miss Turk, I know that you're here on a driving on a suspended license charge. I also know that you fixed your driver's license shortly after this incident, so I'm going to dismiss your ticket, which means it's over, you don't pay anything, and you're free to go, okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, that's 20 TR 29682, case dismissed for Miss Turk. Also, Madam Clerk, on Gerald Coyne, 20 TR 32011, also fixed, also dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Tyler, can you unmute, please? What is your last name?
Mann, M-A-N-N.
Tyler Mann. Let's see. On the 9:30 docket. Okay, this is for having an unsecured load. I think you came in late, so you may not have heard my opening act. Well, you were on time for 9:30, actually. I started my 9 o'clock docket, and then you came in. So what I'm going to do is make you an offer, and you can either accept it or not. You don't have to accept the offer if you don't want to, okay? That's completely up to you. If you choose not to accept the offer, then we'll set your case for a trial, and at the trial, the officer will be here as well. So, Mr. Mann, do you understand all of that so far?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you want to say about this case before I make you that offer?
Like the details, or?
Well, not the details, but for example, if you have a perfectly clean driving record, then that's something you would want me to know.
I believe the officer said the last time I had a ticket was 8 years ago. So, or something he said when he looked it up. The load was secure. It was a heavy load, and a car slammed on its came over in my lane and slammed on its brakes, forcing me to slam on the brakes. So inertia and momentum carried the load, but I stayed, cleaned it up, and it was good to go.
Was there an accident?
No, sir.
So the offer is the face value of the ticket is $200, right?
Yes.
You saw that. The offer, if you want to accept it, is a withhold of adjudication. That means no points plus costs, which equal 103. And that's instead of the 200, it's not in addition to. So it's a withhold, no points plus costs.
I'll take it.
Okay, so ordered. Mr. Mann, you've got to contact the Collier County Clerk within sometime this week to either pay that off or set up a payment plan, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mann. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Judge, may I ask you a question?
Of course.
On Mann, was there a fine?
No.
No fine. No fine.
fine.
Just the $83 court cost.
Correct. Yep. All right. Also on the 9 o'clock docket, we've got Juan Barrio, 21 TR 407. He just retained private counsel who's asking for a continuance. So let's continue that to another morning docket for attorneys.
Okay. We'll do the February 16th date again.
All right. All right, I've got two people I want in the waiting room. I want to address them, and then we'll address the no-shows, okay? All right, good morning, folks. If you could put your audio on mute until I call your name, please. Put your audio on mute. I've got one person still connecting. I'd like you both to put your audio on mute until I call your name. Okay, welcome to traffic court. First of all, I've got two of you with me now. This is a pre-trial conference docket, and I want you to understand the emphasis is on pre-trial. This is not a trial. The officer who wrote the ticket is not present. So I will not be finding you guilty or not guilty today. That's not the purpose of the hearing. The purpose of the hearing today is to allow you an opportunity to resolve your case if you would like to do that. If you resolve your case, then you will not have to come back for a trial on another day. When I make you an offer, your offer will likely include a fine and costs. Costs typically equals $103. So if I issue a fine in the amount of $150 plus costs of $103, the total is $253. If you accept the offer, then you would have to contact the clerk later this week and either pay off the fine and the costs in its entirety or set up a payment plan. They'll be happy to put you on a payment plan where you make monthly payments that extend beyond 30 days, okay? But you've got to make contact with them within 30 days to do that. Either pay it off or set up a payment plan. Okay, Mr. Johnson, good morning, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay, very good. Mr. Johnson, I'm on the 9:30 docket. I've got two tickets with you. Actually, this is going to be easy. You've got Madam Clerk Johnny Johnson, 20 TR 25607, driving on a suspended license. The reason that's easy is I saw that you got it fixed right away. So that ticket.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
I'm about to say the good part for you, Mr. Johnson. That case is dismissed.
Okay, sir. You
can still tell me something if you want to, but it can't get better than a dismissal.
That's right.
Right? Okay. And your second case is 20 TR 25899, proof of insurance. And I also know that you have valid insurance. You just didn't have it with you because I checked it out. So that case is also dismissed. So both cases dismissed, but I'm not trying to cut you off. If there's anything you want to say, you certainly can.
No, that's it, sir. That you did everything perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Miss Pitkin, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Pitch on?
Pitch on, yes ma'am. Good morning.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, she is on the 10 o'clock docket. Ma'am, you're here for a speeding ticket, and I'll make you an offer, and then you can either accept that offer or not. Do you understand everything I've explained so far?
I do.
Your offer is a withhold of adjudication, which means you will not be receiving any points. That's a good thing for you based on a clean record. You would have to pay a fine of $300 plus costs, and you would have to do a 4-hour course, which you do online.
Can I explain?
Well, not for the purpose if you want to explain because you think I'm going to find you not guilty. That's not what today's all about.
How about, can I explain so maybe you could lower the cost?
Sure, you can explain.
Okay. I'm a 65-year-old lady. I had just bought a brand new car, probably a stupid buy. I bought a little sports car. I had 58,000 miles on my last car. This was brand new. I took it out for a ride up to York County. And I usually drive 35 miles an hour. I just wanted to see what a sports car would do. So I did this, and lo and behold, there was I guess an airplane above me. And I worked for the clerk's office for 35 years. I would, trust me, I always followed the law. This was like an aberrance that happened that day. And I don't even drive that much. So that's my explanation. And I'm hoping that maybe you'll lower the cost, and I'll be glad to go to this school.
I'm not going to lower the costs. Because your aberration was an incredibly high speed, one of the highest I've seen today. And so that's an incredible speed. I could easily adjudicate you and give you points. And so the withhold of adjudication is based on your clean record. So everything you just told me is accepted by way of mitigation, and that supports my decision to withhold adjudication. But I'm certainly not going to reduce the fine. That's an egregious speed. But again, you don't have to accept the offer if you don't want to. You tell me.
And if I want to get a lawyer, and if I don't, what happens then?
If you want to get a lawyer, then that's fine. We would continue this case to give you time to do that. I would put it on
Okay.
another morning docket so that you can get a lawyer. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, and if there's a chance it could go higher, correct?
Well, of course, there's a chance it could go higher, and you could be convicted and you could receive points. Or your lawyer may represent you. You may be found not guilty, in which case you get no points, you have no fine. It could go that way as well.
Okay, like I said, I worked at the courthouse for long enough. I know the way it works, so I guess I'll just take your deal. Can I get time to pay this off?
Yes, did you hear me talk about contacting the clerk here within 30 days?
No, because I couldn't get my phone to work, so
Okay,
no.
you have to contact the clerk within 30 days. You have to complete the online course within 30 days. And when you call the clerk, you can set up a payment plan to extend beyond 30 days. So they'll give you monthly payments.
Okay, that's wonderful. And to do the class, I get that information from?
The clerk.
Oh, great.
So
Okay,
that'll be
thank
your
you.
first stop is calling them, okay?
Yeah, thanks, Judge, Magistrate.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. Madam Clerk, let's go back over. I know we've got one individual in the waiting room, but I believe he's on the 10 o'clock docket. So let's address some of these no-shows from the 9 o'clock docket.
Yes, sir.
Starting with Kenneth Demore, 20 TR 29191. I do see that there is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 9 o'clock. It's 9:45. This includes the login credentials. This was mailed to the same address that appears on his citation. So he was properly noticed and he's not here. Sometimes folks call my JA on the day of court. So let me check my text messages. I don't see anything from Mr. Demore. So he was properly noticed. He's not here, Madam Clerk. This is a D6 based on his FTA.
Yes, sir.
And next up is Patrick Fahaley. And his case number is 21 TR 21. Again, nothing as far as messages from my office, nothing from him. He received a notice to appear today at 9 o'clock with the login credentials. And this was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation, was not returned. So he was properly noticed. He's not here. This is also a D6 based on his FTA.
Yes, sir.
And the last case on the 9 o'clock docket is Jordy Medrano Duval, 21 TR 449. Still no messages from my office about him. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1/20 at 9 o'clock. It's now 9:47. He's not here. And just for the record, no one is in the courtroom. And the notice was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation, and it was not returned. So he was properly noticed. He's not here. There's a D6 based on his FTA. And that completes our 9 o'clock docket.
Okay.
All right, now we have a 9:30 docket. We have 2 people in the courtroom. Let's address those 2 folks first, Madam Clerk, just in case they're here on the 9:30 before I address those no-shows.
Yes, sir.
I think they're both on the 10 o'clock docket. Mr. Neal, I'll be right with you. We've got one other person joining the meeting, okay? All right, let me just go. Mr. Neal. Okay, Madam Clerk, this is Oliver Neal on the 10 o'clock docket, 21 TR 326. Mr. Neal, can you hear me okay? I can't hear you. And it says Marcus. Are you Marcus Hayes? He's still connecting. Mr. Hayes, can you hear me, sir? I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Sherelle, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've got Mr. Hayes and Mr. Neal. Mr. Neal, can you hear me okay? I still can't hear you. Mr. Hayes, can you hear me? Madam Clerk, could you hear either one of them?
I can't hear neither one of them, Judge.
Okay, it's not just me.
That's just
Okay. Mr. Hayes? Can you hear me?
It looks like they may need to join with audio. I don't think they have audio.
Oh. That's an option when they sign in, right? To join with audio?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hayes, Mr. Neal, you may need to X out and then try to log back in and make sure you join with audio. Mr. Hayes, I can't hear you, sir. You might have to sign off and then try to sign back on and make sure you click join with audio so that we can hear you. Madam Clerk, let's go back to the 9:30 docket.
Okay.
I've got a couple of no-shows. I want to start with Alexanique Owens, 21 TR 305. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1/20 at 9:30. It's 9:51. The courtroom is empty. Miss Owens, I guess, is not in the meeting, nor is she in the waiting room. The notice was mailed to the same address that is on the citation, so she was properly noticed and she's not here. Madam Clerk, for Owens, it's a D6 based on her failure to appear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Neal, you're back. Can you hear me okay?
Now he needs to unmute himself.
Yeah, unmute, please.
Hello?
Hello. Okay, we have Mr. Neal. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Mr. Neal, this is traffic court. You're here on a speeding ticket. In just a minute, I'm going to make you an offer on that speeding ticket, and then you have to make a decision. You can either accept the offer or not. You certainly don't have to if you don't want to. If you choose not to accept the offer, then we'll give you another date for a hearing. This is not a hearing. You'll notice there are no police officers here. The officer who wrote your ticket is not here. So this is not a trial. So at the end of our discussion today, I will not be finding you guilty or not guilty. That's not the point of the hearing today. The point is to simply give you an opportunity to resolve your case without going to trial if you want to. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me explain the offer to you, and then I'll answer any questions you might have about it. How old are you, Mr. Neal?
I'm 16.
16, and who's with you?
My mom.
I'm his mother.
Are you Mrs. Neal?
I am.
Okay, good morning to you as well. Do you understand everything I've explained to your son?
Yes, so far, yes.
Okay, so here's the offer for Mr. Neal if he wants to accept it. The offer is first of all, Mrs. Neal, you know this is a very high speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the ticket, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
The offer is a withhold of adjudication, which means I'm withholding the conviction. You will not get any points on your record. You may have had a conversation with your mother about the implication of points before today. I hope you have. In addition to that, okay, and who would pay the price for that, Mr. Neal? If you got points on your record, what happens?
What happens when you get points?
You can't drive.
Your insurance?
Well,
Oh, yeah, your insurance goes up.
yeah, you can't overlook that because mom pays for your insurance and it goes up substantially.
He pays for
Okay.
half. And if it went up, then he might be able to pay for half, and then he wouldn't be driving.
It goes up substantially. Okay, so insurance does go up, number one. And what you just said, Mr. Neal, is you can't drive. Eventually that may be true. If you continue to accumulate points on your record, eventually the Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles will think that you can't drive safely and they will take your license away. So you can lose your driver's license based on points. So you don't want that to happen. Driving is a privilege, not a right. Do you understand that? If you abuse the privilege, you're going to have to keep coming back to see me. That's not going to make mom happy. That won't make me happy. Your insurance company won't be happy, and DMV can take your driver's license. So the moral of the story is slow down and don't come back. Okay. Now, that being said, the offer again is a withhold of adjudication, so you do not receive any points on your record. That's a good thing, especially considering the speed. There is a fine of $150 plus costs. Costs total $103. So the total is $253, which you would either have to pay off within 30 days or work out a payment plan with the clerk if you need more than 30 days. But if you accept the offer, in either event, you have to contact the clerk within 30 days of today's date and either pay it off or set up the payment plan. And you would also have to do a 4-hour course, which is a driving school that you do online. And you would have to submit your certificate of completion to the clerk within 30 days of today's date. Do you understand that offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any?
So that's a total of 251 or 58?
53. 253, yes, ma'am. And the 4-hour course.
Right. I'm just, okay. And then he can get on a payment plan to pay that because he'll have to pay this.
Good. I want him to pay this. And
Yeah.
yes, he can get on a payment plan.
Okay.
It's important that if you set up a payment plan, you have to stick to it, because if you miss a payment, then you will lose your driver's license. So let me say this, Mrs. Neal, about the payments. I agree with you. I want him to pay because you weren't the driver. He was the driver. And he's got to feel this a little bit, right? He's got to feel the consequences.
Yeah.
If there's a particular month, whatever, this is between you two. I don't need to get involved in this. But if you, Mrs. Neal, need to make a payment on his behalf so that he doesn't lose his license, I'm okay with that as long as he pays you back every penny. And so I would hope that that would be your arrangement with your son.
Okay. Yeah,
Mr.
that sounds, that's probably what we would do so he didn't ultimately lose it. Yeah.
Okay.
And he doesn't always have the same amount of hours at work, so I could see that happening or possibly happening. Yes.
Okay. So you understand the importance of making the payment even if you have to do it.
Right.
Okay.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay. So let me start with Mrs. Neal. Do you have any other questions about the offer or his options?
No, I don't think so. Other than just to be clear, so he doesn't have any points, but he pays the ticket and the court costs and the driving school.
Correct.
And how long does he have to get the driving school done?
He's got to 30 days.
30 days. Okay.
And
So all of it is in 30 days.
Well, you set up the payment plan, which can extend beyond 30 days.
Right. But I mean, set the plan and get him registered for traffic school.
Yeah, the traffic school is get him registered and get him completed. At the end of the traffic school, he will get a certificate of completion. He needs to submit that to the clerk within 30 days.
Okay.
So on Saturday, sit down and do your driving school. Get it done.
Okay.
Mr.
And,
Neal.
driving school cost also additional money?
That's a good question. Madam Clerk, do you know the answer to that? I'm sure it costs money.
There is a fee. I'm not sure depending on which driving school they select.
Okay, there's different fees.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have some options. I can't quote you the price, but yes, there is a fee. I get a lot of certificates from, I think the school is called Lowest Price Driving School or something. They've got a lot of them online, so you can pick one that's the cheapest. But talk to the clerk. So what you should do, I wouldn't do it today, but this, because your case may not be processed, but your county clerk of courts and
Say
set
that
up.
again? You went out for a second.
Okay, I think tomorrow you should call the Collier County Clerk of Courts and set up your payment plan and ask them about the school. So you can get this started right away.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Mr. Neal, any questions from you?
No, sir.
Okay, you supposed to be in school right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want you to get back to school. Don't come and see me. Again, Mrs. Neal, do you want your son to accept this offer?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Neal, you want to accept it as well?
Yes, sir.
All right, so ordered. Thank you both and good luck to you both. Have a good day.
Thank
Alrighty,
you.
have a nice-
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Hayes. I don't think I can hear you, Mr. Hayes. Can you hear me? And maybe it's not Mr. Hayes. I've got someone named Marcus Hayes. Marcus? I don't think. Some no-shows. And let's start with Pascual Diego Francisco, 21 TR 101. Actually, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry. I'm comparing the folks who have not appeared with the names in the waiting room, and I hesitate to do that. They may be under a different name.
Okay.
So I'd rather take the folks in the waiting room first, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, and first what I'm going to do, Andrea, is I've got a gentleman with us named Marcus who I don't think can hear me, so I'm going to ask him to call you, and then maybe you can patch him through to me. So I'm writing a message to Marcus.
Yes, I hear you, sir. Morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, Marcus, I just heard you for the first time. Oh, great.
Yeah, I was trying to get it together. It's on my end. I'm sorry about this, sir.
That's okay. We've got you now, and that's what counts. So are you Marcus Hayes?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, Madam Clerk, Mr. Hayes is on the 10 o'clock docket for an obscured tag. I reviewed your case yesterday, and you filed a conditional plea asking for a withhold of adjudication, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
And because I just saw that yesterday, I was not able to rule on that and get you notice on time. So that's why we're here today. But if you want to resolve your case, the offer is a withhold of adjudication. So there's no conviction, no points, and you would have to pay court costs. Madam Clerk, how much are the costs for this?
The court costs are $83, Judge.
So it would be a withhold and $83. And you can pay that to the Collier County Clerk of Courts within 30 days of today's date, or you can enter into a payment plan if you want to make payments.
I understand. I'll accept that.
You accept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's it, Mr. Hayes. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. 3 people in the waiting room. And I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, I know we're jumping around, but again, I hate to issue the D6 revocations when we've got some folks in the waiting room.
Right, I understand. It's okay, Judge. I'm with you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we've got... All right, folks, if you can put your audio on mute until I call your name, please. Once you're joined in the meeting here, please put your audio on mute.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I can
How are
hear
you?
you. Thank you. Can you please put your audio on mute until I call your name?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I've got two folks here so far for the 10 o'clock docket, Mr. Fasano and Mr. Smith. I'm just going to make some general comments to both of you, and then we'll take your cases one at a time. This is a pre-trial docket with an emphasis on pre. This is pre-trial, which means this is not a trial on your traffic ticket. You'll notice that there are no police officers present. The officer who wrote your ticket is not here, so this is not a trial. At the end of our discussion this morning, I will not be finding you guilty or not guilty. That's not the point of the hearing today. The point of our hearing this morning is to give you an opportunity to resolve your case if you want to without going to trial. So when I call your name, I will make you an offer to resolve your case. And then you decide if you want to accept that offer or not. You certainly don't have to if you don't want to. If you choose to accept the offer, your offer will likely include a fine and cost, monetary obligation. Court costs typically equals $103. So if I issue a fine, let's say in the amount of $300 plus costs, the total would actually be $403. So whatever the monetary obligation is in your case, if you accept the offer, you must contact the clerk of courts within 30 days date to pay off the monetary obligation in full or enter into a payment plan. If you want to make monthly payments that extend beyond 30 days, that's perfectly fine, but you have to set that up within 30 days of today's date. Okay, so let's start with Mr. Fasano. If you can unmute, please.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Did you understand everything I've explained so far?
Yes.
Okay, so you're here on a speeding ticket. I'll make you an offer, and then you can ask me any questions you have about it, and then tell me if you want to accept it or not, okay? The offer for you is a withhold of adjudication. I don't think I discussed that. What that means is I would be withholding the conviction so you would not get points on your record. You would have to pay a $250 fine plus costs and do a 4-hour driving school, which is online. So you have the 4-hour course and a total of $353 with no points. Do you have any questions, or do you know what you want to do?
So, Your Honor, first and foremost, I do apologize for the excessive speed, and although I was issued a summons that day, I had a medical emergency that day. The EMS and fire department was deployed to the scene. Again, at this point, I would pay any fine. You know, my son, who's type 1 diabetic, has a pump located on his right stomach, and his line was kinked. And as I explained to the officer that day, his insulin tube was kinked. His insulin was 480 when we were pulled over. So it was a 2-lane highway, and we were on Alligator Alley. So my wife was nervous about the alligators, and the exits were so far apart. I just wanted to get off the highway in a rush. And when we were pulled over, the officer says, "I'll call to EMS." It took about 45 minutes for EMS and the fire department to show up. And when EMS finally showed up, my son's sugar was still at 380. Okay, did notice I changed his site and relocated his tube, so insulin did start to flow. So again,
was the officer there during all of this?
Yes, he was. And
okay, so it sounds to me like you want to set this for a hearing. The officer will be present, and you and the officer may have the same request for the presiding judge, who may or may not be me. If you want to do that, we can certainly do that. Give the officer a chance to verify what you're saying, and maybe your presiding judge will do something differently than what I've offered you today.
Listen, like I says, it was excessive speed. I'm okay. My son's okay. I would be gladly to pay the fine. And the officer agreed with me. He says, if you want, I'll definitely agree. You know, and if the judge is lenient enough, You know, there may not be a fine imposed that day, but again, the officer would have to be present. So I'm okay with either or, you know, so, you know, it is what it is.
It's completely up to you. I can't make the decision for you. I can tell you.
If it's no points, Your Honor, you know, I don't mind paying the fine.
There are no points. So I accept everything.
Is it going to be on my record, though?
It'll show up as a speeding ticket on your record as a withhold with no points.
Right. So that I really can't afford, because then it would make my insurance go up and all that other stuff that goes with that. You know. So I mean, I work for the police chaplain's office here in New York. So it's like, you know, I did try to show my credentials. You know. So I mean, I would like the officer to, you know, give a chance for him to listen and talk to the new judge.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that would be on Zoom just like today. So there's no hardship as far as you coming down. You can appear on the computer like this morning. So if that's what you would like, we can give you a court date for that.
That'll be fine, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Sure. Madam Clerk, an afternoon docket, please, for Mr. Fasano.
Yes, sir. March 24th at 1:30.
Thank you.
And Mr. Fasano, you'll receive notice of that in the...
Sorry, I lost you, Your Honor.
Mr. Fasano, did you hear that?
No, you got cut off, sir.
I'm sorry. I was just saying that you will receive a notice in the mail with the Zoom login credentials. So it's just like this morning, but it's in the afternoon at 1:30.
All right, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right. Thanks. All right. Mr. Smith, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Smith. You're also here on a speeding ticket. Did you hear everything I said about your options?
Yes.
So the offer is an adjudication of guilt, which means you would get points. You would have to pay a $500 fine plus costs and a 12-hour course. So you can either accept or we can set it for a hearing.
And what would the hearing consist of?
The officer would also be present, and the two of you would have a chance to testify. You would be put under oath, and you could tell the judge your side of the story if you believe you're not guilty. The state or the police officer would have to prove that you're guilty of the speeding ticket. The judge will listen to both sides and determine whether you're guilty or not guilty. And that judge may or may not be me, Mr. Smith. So, you know, your sentence may be better for you than what I just made you. You know, I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if you're found not guilty, obviously. Then you don't have to pay anything. So I can't tell you for sure what will happen at the trial, but that's what it's like. Both of you testify and then the judge decides.
Okay. I would rather do the trial, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. Madam Clerk, a trial date for Mr. Smith, please.
March 24th at 1:30.
All right, Mr. Smith, you'll get notice of that in the mail, okay?
Okay.
So that's it for this morning. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, three more folks in the waiting room. Folks, please put your audio on mute until I call your case. Thompson, good morning.
Good morning.
Who do you have this morning?
The defendant on this one is Jordan Valdivia.
Valdivia. Sorry, the last name is Valdivia?
Yes, that's what it looks like. Valdivia.
I don't see a Valdivia. Do you have a case number?
Yes. Unless I put it on the wrong day. It's 2021.
Well, we can tell you.
2021-210.
Jordan Valdivia. You filed your notice of appearance on the 14th. This says February the Hello? Madam Clerk, do you agree? Madam Clerk?
I'm sorry, Judge, your Zoom went out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, did you get the case number?
Yes, I got the case number, Judge.
You agree that Mr. Valdivia is set on February the 9th?
At 9, yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
I guess this was an arraignment. It got moved. I don't know.
That's okay. I can still make you an offer to try to resolve it. No, I can't. I don't have access to the driving record. I'm sorry. I was going to try to see if we could resolve it this morning, but I can't do that. So your hearing is February the 9th at 9 o'clock, okay?
I see it. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Thanks. Okay. Mr. Mesidor, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, Madam Clerk, Mr. Mesidor is on the 1030 docket, case number 21-340. Mr. Mesidor, can you still hear me okay, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, but not really good.
Mr. Mesidor, say that again, please. I didn't hear you.
No, I said I can really hear you. Like, okay.
Madam Clerk, is that hard for you to understand as well?
Yes, I didn't understand anything you
It's
said.
not just my audio. Okay. All right. Mr. Mesidor, I'm going to come right back to you. I've got someone here listed as iPhone. What is your name, please? Ma'am, I can see you. I can't hear you. What is your name? Can't hear her. Maybe she can't hear me. Mr. Mesidor.
Yes.
You're here on a speeding ticket. I'm going to tell you the offer, and then you can accept it or not. You don't have to accept it if you don't want to. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you choose not to accept the offer, then you'll get another date for a hearing, okay?
Okay.
Your offer is an adjudication of guilt, $200 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour driving course. So that's a total of $303, which you would either pay off within 30 days or enter into a payment plan if you want to take more than 30 days. You can make monthly payments. You don't have to pay it off all at once. You would have to get the course done within 30 days and provide proof of completion to the clerk. And you do get points. Do you have any questions about the offer?
Points.
Can you say that again, please?
How many points?
4. What would you like to do?
So even
The audio was breaking up. I think you said, do I get points even if I do the school? And the answer is yes. What would you like to do? Pardon me?
I would offer.
You accept the offer?
Yes.
Okay, he accepted the offer. That's it, Mr. Mesidor. Thank you, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, listed as iPhone. Can you hear me? Ma'am, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. I see you talking, but I can't hear you. Sir, can you hear me? Connecting to audio. All right, in the meantime, I've got two other people I'm admitting now. Sir, can you hear me? Listed as iPhone, sir in the blue shirt, can you hear me? I see you there, sir, in a blue shirt. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see.
I cannot hear you.
Who said that?
Sir?
Put the video down to your face. I'm looking at a wall. Okay, in the blue shirt, can you hear me?
I can't hear you, sir.
What is your name?
Marquavian Jackson. Now I can hear you.
Okay, good. Marquavian Jackson, Madam Clerk, on the 10:30 docket. Mr. Jackson, you're here on a speeding ticket.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to make some comments to you.
Speeding ticket.
A speeding ticket. And the offer is a withhold of adjudication. That means no points. You have to pay
adjudication.
Withhold of adjudication, so you do not get points. The offer is a withhold, $200 fine plus court costs and a 4-hour course.
Okay.
Do you understand? Do you understand
yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept that?
Yes, sir. And can I give you my new address?
Sure.
It's 623 South 5th Street.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Apartment A2, Immokalee, Florida, 34142.
What's the street? I've got 623, but I missed the street.
It's South 5th Street.
Oh, South 5th Street. Got it. So, Mr. Jackson, you need to contact the clerk of courts within the next week to set up a payment plan, okay?
Okay, so I called the courthouse.
Okay, any questions?
So I got withhold adjudication. That means no points, and I got to pay the 2 fines.
And you have to do the 4-hour driving school online.
Okay, and the 4-hour driving school online.
Yes, sir. And
how
no
much
points.
is the fine? The fine is 200, right?
The fine is 200. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Plus court costs.
Plus court costs.
But you don't have to pay that at once. You can make payments every month.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. You're free to go. Thank you. Bye-bye. And that was Mr. Jackson, 21 TR 338. Okay. So I've got 2 other folks here with me, Salim's iPhone and Galaxy A20. Let me just make a couple of remarks to both of you at first, and then I'll call you each individually. This is a pretrial docket, which means it's not a trial, it's a pretrial. So this is not a trial. The officer who wrote the ticket is not here. So at the end of our discussion, I will not be finding you guilty or not guilty. That's not the point of the hearing today. The point of the hearing is to give you an opportunity to resolve your case without going to trial if you choose to do so. So I will make you an offer on your ticket, and then you either accept it or not. If you choose not to accept it, that's perfectly fine. We'll give you a hearing date on another day, which will also be on Zoom, just like this. Your offer will likely include a fine and court costs, and I want to explain that. Let's say the fine is $200. Court costs equal $103. So 200 plus 103, the total would be $303. You would have to contact the clerk of courts within 30 days of today's date to either pay that off in full or enter into a payment plan if you want to pay monthly, so that you would have more than 30 days. That's perfectly fine, but you have to set that up before 30 days from today's date, okay? First up, Salim's iPhone. Sir, what is your name, please?
My name is Islam Salim Ladramshikosh.
What's your last name start with? What letter?
L.
L, thank you.
You're welcome.
I see. On the 1030 docket, Madam Clerk, Ladghem.
Yes. Yes.
All right. 21 TR 469. This is a speeding ticket, and your offer is an adjudication of guilt, which means you would get points. That's based on the speed and your prior driving record. You would have to pay a fine of $250 plus costs. So the total is $353, and you would have to do a 4-hour driving course, which you do online. Accept today or not, completely up to you. Do you have any questions?
Your Honor, I am Islam Ladgam's fiance. I just want to ask a court for mercy to see if you can give him a little bit break, because during the COVID, he lives in Miami. They cut his hours, they cut his pay. He's having a tough time. I know he needs to be responsible for what he did, and we promise that he will take courses online and this won't happen. But we're just asking court for mercy to see if you can, during this tough situation, if we can get a little bit break.
This is a tough situation, but how does that affect his speed?
We were in the highway. The officer was very, very nice. He was very kind. He treated us with respect. We were going for dinner. Mr. Ledgam was using my car. I am very afraid of speed. I'm not saying that officer was wrong, but I am sure that it wasn't 102 because he speed up to change the lane when the officer was coming out of the side, entering the highway. We speed up to give him a room.
Okay, well, you know that this is 102 miles per hour, and he's got 2 prior speeding infractions. The fine could, in fact, be double. It could be up to $500. My offer is half of that. It's $250 plus the costs. So the offer will not change. But again, let me talk to him, please, okay? Because this is his case.
Yes, sir.
But again, sir, you don't have to accept it if you don't want to.
No, I take it.
So I will accept it. Yes, sir.
It may be better. That's
Yeah, I will
completely up
accept.
to you. You will accept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
You know you have to contact the clerk within 30 days, okay?
Okay.
All right, so ordered. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, I've got Galaxy A20. What is your name, please? Galaxy A20, can you hear me? Galaxy A20, can you hear me? Mr. Manley, can you hear me? Mr. Manley, can you hear me, sir? Madam Clerk, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Manley, can you hear me? I can't hear you either. Galaxy A20?
Let me see something.
Yep, that worked. Who's that?
I can hear you, sir.
Who's this? Mr. Manley, is that you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, Mr. Manley, good morning. You're here on a traffic ticket for a stop sign. And
Yes,
what's
sir.
going to happen today is I'm going to make you an offer which you can accept or not. You don't have to if you don't want to. This is just an opportunity to resolve the ticket without going to trial. And so I'll make the offer, answer any questions you might have about it. You know the face value of the ticket is $163. I also know that you have a perfectly clean record. So my offer to you is a withhold of adjudication. That means you are not convicted. You do not receive any points, plus costs. Madam Clerk, do costs equal 103 in this case?
Let me verify that 1 second.
Okay.
Judge. Yes, Judge.
So the offer is a withhold of adjudication and court costs, which equal $103. And you would either pay that within 30 days or work out a payment plan with the clerk. So that's the offer.
Your Honor, I'll accept that offer, and I would like to know, I go to the clerk's office at Government Center, and I can work out a payment plan only because COVID has really affected my full-time status. But yes, I would like to accept.
Okay, so so ordered. That's the sentence, and absolutely, you can come in and meet with the clerk, or you can call them and work out a payment plan. You should just do that this week. You have to do it within 30 days.
Right.
And they'll be happy to put you on a monthly payment plan. That's fine.
That sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Manley. Have a good day.
Great day. You too.
Thanks.
Judge, I apologize. That was no fine on that one.
Correct. No fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Galaxy A20, can you hear me? Galaxy A20. Folks, please put your audio on mute until I call your name. Once you're in the meeting, please put your audio on mute. Please put your audio on mute until I call your name.
Sir.
We've got 3 more folks who just joined us. So I'm going to make 3 of you, and then I'll call your cases individually. This is traffic court. It's a pretrial docket. Pretrial, which means it's not trial. You look around, you'll notice that we don't have any police officers present. The officer who wrote your ticket is not here. This is not a trial. So we're not here for me to find you guilty or not guilty. That's not the point of the hearing today. The point of the hearing is for you to have an opportunity to resolve your case without going to trial if you want to do that. So when I call your name, I will make you an offer to resolve your case, and then you can either accept that offer or not. You do not have to accept the offer if you don't want to. If you choose not to accept the offer, then you would come back on Zoom for another day for a trial. And that time the officer will be present. When I make you your offer will likely include a fine and court costs. So let me explain how that works. Let's say, for example, the fine is $200 plus court costs. Court costs equal 103. So the total would be $303 in that example. Now, if you accept that offer, you would have to contact the Collier County Clerk of Courts within 30 days of today's date to do one of 2 things.
I'll get it.
Pay that off in full, or to enter into a payment plan if you need more than 30 days. You can certainly do that, and then you can make monthly payment beyond 30 days. That's perfectly fine, but you have to set that up with the clerk within 30 days of today's date. Okay, let's start. Mr. Newton, can you unmute, please? Mr. Newton?
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good
did
morning.
you hear everything I just said?
I did.
All right, so Mr. Newton, you're here on a speeding ticket. I'll make you the offer, answer any questions you may have, and then you decide whether you want to accept it or not, okay?
Okay.
All right, your offer on the speeding ticket is an adjudication of guilt, which means you would get points. You would have to pay a $300 fine plus costs and do a 4-hour driving school. The driving school is done online. That's not in person. It's on the computer online. And you submit proof of completion to the clerk within 30 days. So it's a total of $403. You can make a payment plan with the clerk and do the school within 30 days of today's date. Do you have any questions, or do you know what you want to do?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If I do the school, would the points be taken off?
No, sir. You're going to get points, even with the school.
How many
if you
points?
accept 4.
4 points.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you say if I accept what?
I said you're going to get points if you accept the offer. Remember, you don't have to. You can come back for a hearing. At the hearing, you would be present. The officer who wrote the ticket would be present. You would both have an opportunity to tell your side of the story to the judge. That judge may be me. It may be somebody else, Mr. Newton. I may not be the judge. And then the judge decides whether you're guilty or not guilty.
Okay. I will get a lawyer, actually.
Okay. So do you want me to continue this to another morning docket instead of a hearing so that you have time to get a lawyer?
What does that mean, please?
So, okay, so that means normally I've got a whole nother docket with traffic tickets that have lawyers. Okay. And we meet in the morning, just like you and I are meeting in the morning. And oftentimes lawyers try to work out the case without going to trial.
Okay.
So I think your lawyer would probably prefer to have a morning docket to try to work your case out favorably for you rather than going straight to the hearing.
Okay.
So because you're telling me you want to hire a lawyer, my suggestion would be let's continue this to another docket in the morning, not a trial, but another one of these so that your lawyer can appear for one of these. Okay.
All right. Perfect. When would the next docket be?
Madam Clerk, we'll put this on a pro se docket until he gets a lawyer, Madam Clerk.
Okay, let me see.
Madam Clerk, can you?
You can do. I'm making sure that the dockets aren't maxed out yet.
Okay.
February 10th. Looks like there's room on the 9 o'clock docket.
February 10th at 9 o'clock. Now, what that means, Mr. Newton, is your lawyer, one of you needs to show up on Zoom, either you or your lawyer.
Okay.
If you, in other words, if you actually hire a lawyer before then, your lawyer will appear for you.
Okay.
If you do not hire a lawyer, then you need to appear.
All right.
And when I say appear, I mean on Zoom, right? Don't come to the courthouse.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it, Mr. Newton. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. So that's February 10th, 9 o'clock for Mr. Newton. I've got someone here listed as Mark's iPhone. Can you unmute, please?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Would you be Mark Webb?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mark Webb, Madam Clerk, on the 1030 docket, 2 cases, obscured tag and tag light, 20 TR 24368, 20 TR 24369. What's the status with these, the tag and the tag light? What's the deal there? Have you fixed all that?
Yes. Well, the tag lights were working. I removed the tag cover, but I took some pictures of it, of the lights working right after I got the ticket. My lights weren't on. I was pulling out of a gas station. I didn't have my headlights or anything on. It's got lights underneath it, and I took a picture of the tag cover on it, which I guess you're not supposed to have something over the face, but I mean, you could clearly see the numbers. It was just a clear plastic tag protector.
Okay. Are you at your car right now? Can you take me over and show me the tag or no?
Not at my car, but I did take some pictures. If I can pull them up, I don't know if I can. Well, I wouldn't be. I've got some pictures of it
on your phone, and you're probably using your phone right now, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So here's the dilemma. Okay. So the obscured tag, that one you're telling me you have fixed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you under oath.
Yes, sir.
In just a minute, I'm going to put you under oath, and then you're going to tell me that you fixed the tag if you actually fixed the tag. Why am I putting? Yeah, you removed the whatever was obscuring it.
Yep.
And the reason I'm going to put you under oath is because if someone commits perjury, that's a felony. And
Yes,
I
sir.
know that you wouldn't commit a felony to get out of a traffic ticket. That makes no sense. Okay, so raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. And you told me earlier you are Mark Webb.
Yes, sir.
It's frozen right now. Okay, you're Mr. Webb.
Yes,
and
sir.
on the obscured tag, tell me what you did on that case.
I removed the plastic cover that was over the tag.
So it's no longer obscured.
No, sir.
Okay, so that ticket is dismissed. 20 TR 24368. Now that leaves us with the other one, the tag light. And you were telling me
Yes, sir.
earlier that it does work and it's always worked.
Yes, sir.
So that sounds.
I picked up it with my phone. Of course, you can only see it at night, but I fixed it. And, you know, when I turned them on, I said, "Well, dang, my lights work." And I was thinking when I got pulled over, I'd backed out of the gas station, and as I was pulling out, he pulled me over, so I never turned my headlights on.
Here's the problem there. You just testified about the obscured tag. That's fine. The light is a little bit different because you're telling me that you disagree with the police officer. Okay, because the police officer felt like it did not work. You feel like it did work. So that's
I my headlights on when he was sitting in a gas station, and I backed out. I never turned my headlights on, and as I was pulling out, that's when he pulled me over. I never turned my lights on.
You may be right, but the problem is we're not here. The officer's not here. So
Yes, sir.
think about it like this. If I had the officer with me right now and you were not present, you wouldn't want me to listen to the officer's testimony and say, you know what, I think Mr. Webb's guilty. And so the opposite is also true. I can't just listen to your side and say you're not guilty. I can listen to you that you're telling me that it works, but I can't dismiss it. This is a little bit different than the obscured tag. So what I can do is I can make you an offer of a withhold of adjudication. Oh, did we lose Mr. Webb? Okay, Madam Clerk, it looks like we lost Mr. Webb. Hopefully he tries to sign in again. In the meantime, I've got someone here listed as Zoom user. Zoom user. Sir, in the white t-shirt, can you unmute, please? Sir, what is your name?
Hi.
Good morning.
Mark, good morning.
What is your name, sir?
Can you hear me? My name is Sinclair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Did you say you are Mr. Sinclair?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Sinclair. Madam Clerk, do you see a Sinclair?
I don't see a Sinclair on the 1030 or the 11.
Or the 130, I don't see him.
Sinclair, the first name?
The last name's Iman, this first Sinclair.
Okay, it's 2021 TR 472. He's on the 1030 docket.
1030 docket. Oh, Mr. Iman. Okay, Sinclair, I see it. All right, sir, you're here on a speeding ticket. And the offer, I'll make you an offer and I'll answer your questions and then you tell me if you want to accept it, okay?
Okay.
The offer is a withhold of adjudication. That means no points on your record, so that's a good thing for you. You would have to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs, and you would have to do the 4-hour course. Do you have any questions about that?
Before I take that, I'd like to say something.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Because I told the officer that I'm not from here. I'm from Canada, and the way we drive in Canada is like we drive 100 on the highway, and this is my first time driving in the States, and I totally forgot that's not Canadian road, so I totally forgot that.
Right.
He told him, he asked me to explain that to you to see if you can do anything about it. So I totally forgot. It's my first time driving here. It's just I just totally thought I was driving in Canada because we do 100, kilometers per hour. So on highway, that was what happened.
I'm familiar with.
I don't usually speed. I've never gotten a ticket in my whole life. So. Yeah.
And I understand that, and I know that there's a difference, kilometers per hour and miles per hour. I understand that in Canada, and that's why you're getting a withhold of adjudication, which means no points. So I've taken that into account that you've got a clean record as far as I know. I don't think you have any priors, and so that's why I'm offering you a withhold of adjudication, which means no points.
Okay.
So what would you like to do? Do you want to accept that?
Yeah, I can go with that. So is there a way you can also reduce the ticket price?
It can, Madam Clerk, let's make this a withhold 150 plus costs. So that is lower than the ticket value. That would be a total of $253, and you can work out a payment plan with the clerk of courts.
Okay.
Do you want to accept that?
Yeah, we can take that.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Judge, you're still imposing the 4-hour school, correct?
Yes, it's a withhold
Okay.
150 plus cost and the
So
4-hour course.
So how am I supposed to do the 4-hour course?
Online. It's
I
not
don't know
in
about
person.
what do I have to do?
Ask the clerk. It's not in person. You do it online. It's on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Are you in Canada now?
I haven't left. I'll be leaving during the weekend.
Leaving back to Canada?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you can do it on the internet. That's okay.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay, Mr. Webb is back.
Yes, sir.
And I lost you there before, but what I was saying is, so I've already dismissed one of your tickets.
Yes, sir.
And the other one is the tag light. I know there's a factual dispute about that. The best I can do for you on that one is a withhold and court costs. So there's no fine and there is court costs. Madam Clerk, what would the court cost be for Mr. Webb?
Oh, $83.
So it would be $83 with no conviction, no points.
Oh, I could go that route. That sounds fair.
But you, Mr. Webb, and I appreciate that, but you understand you don't have to, right? If you'd rather come for a trial to make your argument.
I've got pictures showing that the lights work. I mean, if that helps my case, I don't.
Well, you'd have to. Yeah, I can't tell you what'll happen. I may not be the judge, but you may or may not be successful at trial.
And that could go wrong if I'm not.
It could, yes,
Or
sir.
It could cost me more, right?
It could cost you more, and the 83 is actually less than the ticket.
Correct, because I was looking at two $100 tickets before. So that sounds fair. Let's just go that route. That way I can get it cleared up and
Okay.
put it behind me.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Thank you, sir.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Okay, so we have no one left in the waiting room. We still have Galaxy A20. Galaxy A20, can you unmute?
Clark?
Hello, is this Galaxy A20?
Yes, this is Justin Clark.
Jacinth Clark on the 1030 docket. Madam Clerk, do you see her case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Clark, you're here on a speeding ticket. I'm going to make you an offer, and you can accept that offer or not. Do you understand that?
Okay, Your Honor.
If you choose not to accept the offer, then we'll give you another court date for a trial. And you would appear on Zoom just like this morning, and the officer will appear as well, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, the offer for you is a withhold of adjudication. That means no points. You would have to pay a fine of $200 plus costs and do the 4-hour driving school online. Do you understand all that?
Your Honor, I did a driving school.
When?
I did it on Saturday.
After this ticket?
Yes, Saturday the 17th, I did a driving school.
It's
Okay.
docketed in the case, Judge.
It's docketed in the case.
Yes, sir. Docket line 8.
I see it. Okay, so that's good. You don't have to do it again. So that would leave the fine of $200 plus court costs in the amount of $103 for a total of $303 and no points if you accept the offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you accept?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you understand that you need to contact the clerk of courts within 30 days to make a payment plan, okay?
The clerk of the court?
The Collier County Clerk of Courts. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, should I go into play or they will contact me?
No, you need to contact them. Yes, you can come in or you can call them.
Okay.
But you need to do that, okay?
Okay, Your Honor. So I can do payments, or do I have to pay everything at once?
You can do payments,
Okay.
but you need to work that out within 30 days. Make a payment plan with the clerk.
And what's the total you said is 300, 301?
303.
303.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and good luck to you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, 2 people in the waiting room.
Hello.
Hello, it says Javier E. What is your last name, sir?
Exposito.
Javier Exposito. Okay, thank you.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I am fine, and you?
Pretty good. Thank you for asking.
All right. Madam Clerk, Mr. Exposito is on the 11 o'clock docket, 20 TR 30244. What was the defective equipment?
The rear brakes needed to be replaced, so I had the whole brake system changed on the car.
You had it done already?
Yes, sir.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes, I submitted evidence yesterday. They were able to scan it and submit it to the system. I turned in some receipts and photos as well.
I do see that. Give me just a minute to review this, okay?
Thank you.
What was wrong with the brakes? Do you know?
Yeah, the rotors, the pads were wearing out, so they were scraping against the rotors.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I see this from Rock Auto.
Yep.
Problem's been fixed.
Yes, sir.
Citation is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, sir. You have a good day.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. We have another person on the 11 o'clock joining us now. That's Cano Biza, C-A-N-O. Hello, is this Mr. Cano Biza?
Yes.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
This is a traffic docket here.
Yes.
And so what's going to happen, sir, in just a minute, I'll make you an offer to resolve the ticket. This is load dropping or unsecured load. And then when I make you the offer, you can either accept it or not. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you choose not to accept the offer, then we'll give you another court date. You come back for a hearing or a trial, and at that trial, the officer who wrote the ticket will also be present. You will both have an opportunity to explain your side of the story to the judge, and the judge will find you guilty or not guilty. So those are your options. You can either accept the offer or not. You understand all of that so far?
Do you want in Spanish?
You know Spanish?
Was there someone telling you that? Who's with you?
Hi, I'm actually his HR manager.
I thought I heard someone there. Okay. You're his HR manager.
Yes.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, more or less.
More, are you comfortable enough translating? I mean, do you speak well enough to translate?
If it's going to be for the court jargon, then no, I do not feel comfortable for that.
Okay.
I mean, I can translate more or less what you're trying to say, but not exactly what you're saying.
Well, why don't I explain to you what the offer is, and you tell me if you think you can translate it, okay?
Oh, no, I heard the offer. I can translate that part.
Okay, so the offer is a withhold of adjudication. I'll explain what that means, and then you figure out if you can translate it.
Okay.
The withhold means I'm withholding the conviction, so he would not be convicted of this ticket. So that's a good thing for him. He does not get any points on his record. I guess the way to do it would be to tell him no points.
Okay.
Okay, so no points on his record. He would have, pardon?
No, I'm just writing this down.
Okay, yeah, write it down. So no points on his record. he would have to pay a $100 fine plus court costs. Madam Clerk, are the costs 103?
Yes,
Or 80?
Judge.
So the total is $203, and he can work out payment plans with the clerk. So he does not have to pay it all at once. He can make monthly payments. And again, no points.
Okay. And that's
And then
withhold adjudication?
That's what that means, yeah.
And I'm sorry, and the court costs are 83. on this.
83,
I
it just got
apologize.
$20 less. So it's 100 plus 83, 183 is the total, and no points. And he can either accept that or not. It's important, I appreciate your help, but it's important that he understands he does not have to accept that offer if he doesn't want to.
Okay.
That's totally up to him, okay? So we'll wait for you if you can try to explain that and then let me know what he says.
Okay. So que ellos están diciendo es que ahorita mismo, si quieres, ellos pueden ofrecerte algo que se llama withholding adjudication, que eso no hay puntos en su licencia. Así como sabes, más o menos, si apuntas, eso es algo. Y solo tienes que pagar 100 por el tiquete y para el corte también va a ser 83. So en total va a ser 183. Si quieres eso, entonces no está en su récord más o menos.
Okay.
And you're saying it's not in his record, correct? If he does withhold adjudication?
He doesn't get points. It'll show up on his record, but it'll say no points.
Okay. So va a aparecer en su recorte, pero no va a ser que no hay ningún puntos que están sacados.
Okay.
So puedes aceptar estos términos, o si no, entonces ahí tenemos que ir a corte otra vez. ¿Estás bien con eso? Okay. He said he'll accept those terms.
That sounded really good to me. You said more or less, but I think you're very fluent. That sounded perfect.
I underestimate myself, but thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that was great. So let me ask you this, though. Are you confident that he understands and that he wants to accept the offer?
Yeah, we know the whole situation behind it, so yes.
Okay. And will you also explain to him that he needs to contact the clerk within 30 days to make out to work out that payment plan?
Could we do that on his behalf?
Sure. Somebody's got to contact the clerk to work that out. I don't care who it is, but let me give you the case number, because when you call the clerk, they'll want a case number, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
21, and then there's a dash, TR, and then another dash, and then 530. That's what you'll need to give to them to work out the payment plan. 21 TR 530.
Okay.
Okay. And that is it for this morning. So thank you for your help, and thank you to him as well, please.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. We've got Mark's iPhone trying to connect. That might be Mr. Webb. He was listed as Mark's iPhone as well. Otherwise, we have no one else. There's no one else in the meeting, no one else in the waiting room. Madam Clerk, maybe now's a good time to go back over the no-shows.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so starting on the 9:30 docket, we have Pascual Diego Francisco, 21 TR 101. And I'm reviewing the file here. Again, there are no defendants in the courtroom with me. A notice to appear was mailed to Mr. Diego Francisco for today's date, 1/29/30. It's now 10:57. This notice included the Zoom login credentials, and the notice was sent to the same address that appears on the citation. So he was properly noticed and he's not here. This is a D6 based on his FTA. The waiting room is still empty. The next case on the 9:30 docket is Grabil Guzman. Grabil Guzman is 21 TR 258. And I'm reviewing that file for notice. Notice to appear in the court file for today's date at 9:30. It's 10:57. Again, this was mailed to the defendant with the login credentials. Thank you for checking. And no one is in the hallway also, just for the record. And this notice was mailed to the same address that appears on his citation. So he was also noticed and he's not here. Madam Clerk, this is a D6 based on his FTA. Again, Grabil Guzman. Johnny Johnson, I think we've addressed both of his cases. Yes. Madam Clerk, do you show that's it for the 9:30?
I have Delu Lopez on the 9:30.
I'm showing two left. I'm showing Fuzalov and Lopez on my printed docket, but not on the computer. I'm pulling them up now. Let's see. On the Fuzalov, canceled pretrial. I wonder why that happened. Oh, private counsel. So do you show Fuzalov, Yakov, Fuzalov?
I don't have that one on my docket. Just
All right.
Lopez.
So I'll address Lopez here in just a minute. So what happened in Fuzalov 21 TR 286? Mr. Gorman, excuse me, Adam Gordon filed a notice of appearance just yesterday.
Okay.
So that's why this was probably taken off. And I just want to make sure they have another date. They do February the 2nd. Okay. So that one's been addressed. And the next one, Madam Clerk, that we both show is Delu Lopez, 21 TR 172. For some reason, not on the computer. Notice to let's see. I don't know why that was not on my doc. Maybe I X'd out of that one. But you show Delu Lopez still pending, right?
Yes, sir.
And in the court file, it looks like it's still pending as well. I don't see any notice of cancellation. Do you agree with that?
I agree, Judge.
All right, so let me review this one for notice. Again, the waiting room is empty. There's no one in the waiting room. There is a notice to appear for today's date, 1/20 at 9:30. It's now 11 o'clock. This notice was mailed to the defendant with the Zoom login credentials, and it was mailed to the same address, excuse me, that appears on her citation. And the notice was not returned, so I find that she was properly noticed, and she's not here. This is a D6 based on her FTA. And I believe that completes our 9:30 docket. All right, we have a 10 o'clock docket with some no-shows. I start with Alonzo Arias, 21 TR 192. There's a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1/20 at 10 o'clock. It's now 11:01. This notice does include the Zoom login credentials, and it was mailed to the same address that appears on his citation. So this is over an hour late. He was properly noticed. He's not here. D6 based on his FTA. The next case on the 10 o'clock docket .
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, okay. It froze for a second.
Did you hear me on Arias?
I did. D6.
That's a D6,
But I saw you
yeah.
two up here.
Yeah, based on FTA. And now I'm just beginning to review Bostic West.
Okay.
All right, and so there is a notice to appear in the file for Bostic West for today at 10 o'clock, and it's now 11:02. This was mailed to the defendant at the same address that appears on her citation. It was not returned. So she was properly noticed. She's not here. This is a D6 for Bostic West based on her FTA. And I'll note for the record, there is now one person in the waiting room, but he is on the 11 o'clock docket. All right, next on the 10 o'clock docket, Lysandra Claveria Fernandez, 21 TR 437. And for some reason, again, this is not on the computer anymore, just on my paper docket.
Yeah, I don't have that one on my docket either, Judge.
Let me see what happened here. Maybe counsel got involved. Canceled notice of appearance. Yep. Okay, so she's hired an attorney, and they have a new date 2/9. Okay, so that one's previously canceled.
Okay.
So you probably do show Jose Lazima Arroyo.
Yes, sir.
As pending. Okay. As do I. On the 10 o'clock docket, 21 TR 178. There's a notice to appear that was sent to Mr. Arroyo for today's date, 120 at 10 o'clock. This was mailed back on January the 4th, more than 2 weeks ago. And it was mailed to the same address that appears on the ticket. So he was properly noticed. He's not here. There's a D6 based on Mr. Lazima Arroyo's FTA. And again, the only person still in the waiting room, actually we've got 2 people in the waiting room now, and they're both on the 11 o'clock docket, and they're listed by name, so I know that's not any of these D6 folks.
Okay.
All right, last one on the 10 o'clock docket is Luis Perez, 21 TR 307. There's a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 10 o'clock, mailed to the defendant. It's now 11:04. This citation was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation. He was properly noticed. He's not here. There's a D6 based on his FTA. Okay, now I know we've got some no-shows on the 10:30 as well, Madam Clerk, but I'd like to address the 2 gentlemen who are in the waiting room first.
Yes, Judge.
And they're on the 11 o'clock docket. That'll also give our 10:30s a little bit more time to see if they're going to show up. This is Mr. Dalton and Mr. Solar. Mr. Solar, can you hear me, sir? How about you, Mr. Dalton? Can you hear me? Mr. Dalton, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Dalton, you're here on a traffic citation for driving on a suspended license. I checked your record. I know you fixed it right after this incident, so this ticket is dismissed. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so that completes our hearing. Yes, sir. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir? Alfred Solar or Solar?
Yes, sir. Solar.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, sir, you're here on a speeding ticket. I am going to make you an offer, and then you can either accept the offer or not. You don't have to if you don't want to. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The offer is a withhold of adjudication. That means no points on your record. You do have to pay a $150 fine plus costs, and you have to do that. You have to, so the total is $253 with no points, and you have to pay within 30 days or enter into a payment plan with the clerk if you want to make monthly payments.
That's,
you understand
that's acceptable. Yes. I'd like to.
What's your question? Go ahead.
No question. I was just going to say yes. That is acceptable. I agree to that.
All right, and I know we had some audio difficulties. I just want to make sure you understand that you do need to contact the clerk within 30 days to either pay it in full or work out a payment plan, okay?
Yes, I understand.
Very good. So that completes our hearing. Thank you, sir, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Madam Clerk, so the waiting room is empty. I'm just making these announcements for the record again, and Mark's iPhone is in the meeting looks like he's trying to connect, but again, I think that's Mr. Webb, and I think that's an error. And so we have no one else in the waiting room.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back over some of our no-shows from the 10:30 docket. Starting with Nin Chanthasone, 21 TR 461. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 120 at 10:30. It's now 11:08. This was mailed to the defendant at the same address on his traffic citation. He was properly noticed and he's not here. Again, the courtroom is empty. The waiting room is empty. So this is a D6 based on his FTA.
Okay.
And the next case is Yesenia Gonzalez Salazar. Gonzalez Salazar, 21 TR 194. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 10/30. It's 11:08. This notice was mailed to the defendant at the same address that appears on the traffic ticket. So she was properly noticed and she's not here. This is a D6 based on her FTA. The waiting room is still empty. Next up is Baybars Orsek, 21 TR 460 Orsek. And it looks like, let's see, there is a conditional plea of no contest in the court file requesting a court date. So, Madam Clerk, I am not going to issue the D6 today. Let's just set this for a hearing in the afternoon, please.
Okay, we'll use the March 24th at 1:30 hearing.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. The next one on the 10:30 docket is Zaquandra White, 21 TR 455. The waiting room is still empty. Another conditional plea of no contest. And so she's filed a conditional plea of no contest, indicating that she wants to enter a plea of no contest regardless of whether it's a withhold of adjudication. So I will accept her plea of no contest, and in this case, actually, it is a withhold. It'll be a withhold of adjudication, $250 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Madam Clerk, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next is Robert Witterholt. Robert Witterholt, 21 TR 360. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1:20 at 10:30. It's now 11:10. And this was mailed to the defendant. Same address that appears on the citation. So he was properly noticed and he's not here. Do you show any correspondence from him, Madam Clerk, or anything?
I don't see any correspondence or anything being returned.
I don't see that either. So he was, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was checking the notes tab to see if he called or anything, but I don't see anything.
Okay, well, he was properly noticed and he's not here, so this is a D6 based on his FTA.
Okay.
And that's a DWLSR, and I'll just state again for the record that as of yesterday, when I prepped my file and reviewed all of this, it had not been fixed. Okay, the last one I show on the 10:30 docket is Lily Zaleski, 21 TR 453. And I'm reviewing this file for notice. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1/20/21 at 10:30. It's 11:12. This notice was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation. So she was properly noticed and she's not here. This is a D6 based on her FTA. Madam Clerk, I think that's it for 10:30.
That's it for 10:30.
All right. And the waiting room is still empty. We have two left on the 11 o'clock docket, beginning with Enji Asaf Mina, 21 TR 597. I'm reviewing that file for notice. There's a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 11 o'clock. It's now 11:12. And this notice was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation. So she was properly noticed. She's not here. This is a D6 based on her FTA. Waiting room is still empty. Last case on the 11:30 docket is Yoneki Marino Hermosia, 21 TR 610. There's a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 11 o'clock, with the Zoom login credentials. This was mailed to the defendant at the same address that appears on the citation. So she was on notice. She's not here. This is a D6 based on her FTA.
Okay.
And Madam Clerk, I believe that completes our morning docket.
Yes, sir.
Although it just dawned on me that I have not been checking for text messages from Andrea, and that's how I get into trouble. Sometimes people call her when they're having technical difficulties, but that is not the case. I have no messages from her.
Okay.
So all of the D6 stand. Okay, so I think that's a wrap until 1:30, Madam Clerk, and unless you tell me otherwise.
No, that's everything, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you.